to the pool, such as shock and health. Again, those have been big requested features here in the community, so I'm very glad that we get to have them shown off.
Absolutely. And you see another little aspect of this. We have custom sprites now with custom names.
And so,
go ahead.
So it looks like we have a Terra Lock and Shadow start, or as it appears, an Atma, Marth, and Falls start.
So there are over probably about 2 dozen different sprites now with different portraits.
Yeah, but the question is, what are we looking at as far as the abilities? I see a sword tech and then a couple nothings. So
we might have to wait until we get into a battle to see. The runners could open up the status screen and check each character's ability. But I haven't seen anyone do that yet. Or if they did, I missed it.
All right, Jack going straight for the Snow Muffler or Marble Shoes. Yeah, I can't argue with that pick.
Absolutely. Snow Muffler is arguably one of the best pieces of armor in the entire game.
Yeah, I think you would rather see a Minerva, but I mean, you're not going to complain about a Snow Muffler early.
Absolutely, and he goes and picks up that Curse Shield with 30 battles. This seed does have slightly longer requirements than most of the community seeds that we've run, where we need to get 9 characters, 12 espers, and complete 4 dragons. I know the tracker says 8. The tracker is a lying liar pants. We've been trying to get that fixed. But still, I think 30 battles is a little too much for that Cursed Shield to be really worth it.
Yeah, it's just with the experience totals that you're going to get, even if you tried to take all of the forced fights through whatever checks you have available, it's just too much.
And as you can see, Jack already sold it. He didn't even bother waiting.
Yep, and we see Zelfer is now following in Jack's wake here and going to Gao Manor. Doing some shopping, and he'll pick up that Ragnarok Esper as well. Didn't get a chance to see what spells were on that Ragnarok or if it had a good stat boost.
It looked like bio with MP times 10 or 10%, so nothing particularly exciting. And Jack is back looking through the treasure trove, so we'll see what this turns up.
So one thing to note is you're seeing them pick up a little bit of armor. That's nice because they all did start without anything. So it was a naked start. So having a nice force armor and a couple weapons off the bat is nice.
Yeah, if you're completely bereft of equipment, you could do a whole lot worse than a force armor and a Nutkin suit.
Absolutely. And one of the other new features that is a flag, but I see that we did not turn on, was the ability to multi-summon espers. You now have the ability in the flags as you're setting it up to decide whether or not you want to be able to summon espers as you did in vanilla, which is once per battle, or as many times as you have the MP4.
The reason of note, well, I did not turn it on for this particular flag, is it's kind of excuse me, it's a little abusive with Final Kafka. You can just use Fenrir and Golem over and over and over again, so that's why that's off for this particular one. We're working on fixing that.
So why haven't we turned everyone into a Chancellor yet?
Well, mostly because it would be really confusing to watch if every sprite was the same.
I mean, that's kind of what it looks like in the Imperial days.
So yes, in addition to swapping around the sprites of your characters, you can also swap around the sprites of various NPCs as well. So if you, as one of our community members, Mr. Entity, would like to do at some point, if you want to have an all-Chancellor seed, you can do that. Whether or not you should do that is a completely separate question.
So Jack finds the Thunder Shield, which is pretty nice. I am sure that's going to explode sooner rather than later. And he also finds a loose Moogle Charm. Heck yeah.
That extra Moogle Charm will probably sell for a decent amount of money, and we are seeing an Ultros sprite here. Wonder what that is going to give us.
If I had to guess, Ultras.
As you can see, that is Scott, as he is a member of our community who's been very helpful, and he is a fan of Ultros, so I thought it was very fitting to give him the Ultros sprite.
He has the Ultros spray, and it appeared that he had both health and something else. I missed it. So let's see. We've got Jump, GP Rain, Health, Slot. We've actually got a decent set of commands here. Because one of the interesting things that shuffling the commands does is it radically changes character ratings, like how valuable a character is.
Oh my god, no, don't give Drew Slot early.
So Slot can be easily used to do silly things such as Joker Doom or Reverse Joker Doom if you know the RNG of the seed. I'll be interested to see if Drew does a little bit of experimenting to see if he can figure out the RNG of the seed. Because it is randomized, so it is not the same as vanilla, which is a nice change in my opinion.
No, we'll see if he decides to buy a bunch of, like, I don't know, like tonics and cheap consumables, echo screens.
A couple of eye drops.
Now, on the topic of buying stuff, one thing we won't be able to buy is the elemental shields. We will not have any rods, and we will not have Ultima. So the kind of those are out of the picture. So we have to find new ways to tackle these enemies.
So yes, it'll be very interesting to see which of the particular character abilities that our runners end up using. Because some of those might be a good replacement for some other offensive options. Like I do know Shock is incredibly powerful. Shock being General Leo's ability in vanilla. We sort of have given our runners the ability to revive General Leo without walking around his headstone 255 times or whatever the various rumors that were going around the playground as a kid. But Shock is, I believe, 128 power, all targeting magical attack?
So needless to say, it's kind of broken.
It is very, very powerful.
There's a magic power +2 with Ice 2 on it, so there you go. Zelfer in the driver's seat as far as leveling goes.
Well, speaking about leveling, it's an interesting flag set in that characters are going to join at the party average level. So you can basically swap your characters as you want to. However, enemies are going to scale with your party level. So if you get stronger, so you get the enemies. So it's kind of a how do you want to handle a type situation.
All right, I found a couple of Magus hats, so that's pretty good.
Couple of Magus hats. Another thing to mention that has been changed is the pool of valuable items that you can get from checks. That did go through a little bit of revision here. Used to be you could get things such as Tiger Fangs and a couple of other pieces of gear that, as a community, we kind of went meh. So now we have added in the elemental shields and a few other things that I don't remember off the top of my head. I think the Pearl Lance, maybe. So the item pool is a little bit more powerful overall, let's say.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the elemental shields. It's going to make Merton strats a lot more viable. And that's one of the more fun gimmicks to try to run as far as the victory condition goes.
Merton is an all-targeting spell that is both fire and wind, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yeah, all the elemental shields will either nullify or absorb it. They're real good to hang on to.
And in a pinch, you can break them for powerful spells. So it looks like Jack has picked up Cecil or Cyan, who has both magic and the X magic command. It's another new command that we have added into the possible pool here. So he has an X magic user without a gem box.
So what happens if you equip him with a gem box?
I believe that changes your regular magic into X magic.
So you just have 2 X magics.
I mean, if you really just want to, roll on some fools, you can do that.
Yeah, so you can cast quick and just alternate between the two then.
Cecil is another admin in the server in the community. Has done a lot of work for getting us where we are today. So shout out to Cecil for everything he's done for us.
And Cecil is absolutely an enormous font of knowledge of the various detailed mechanics and formula and a lot of the back end of how this game actually works, which is an incredible resource to have at our fingertips.
Oh, we found an egg!
Yep, Zelfer picking up that XP egg doubles the experience of the person it is equipped on, and that's going to do quite a bit because your damage scales incredibly well with levels.
Yeah, Zelfer also has Ifrit, which is the magic power +1 Esper, so you could really ramp up that one character into having strong magic early.
The one caveat to this, though, is with our enemy scaling today, enemies will scale your highest level party member. So if you get a very powerful party member, those enemies are going to match that character's level. So you kind of have to be careful with that egg.
Really, that just means you need to pass it around. That is an interestingly colored sprite there in Zozo that Jack just talked to. One of the fun things with switching around some sprites and color palettes is that sometimes you will see things that are a little silly, let's say.
You see a lot of runners doing most of the free checks early. I like that play. Since enemies won't really change with your progression, getting a lot of the free checks early is definitely a good idea.
Absolutely. That tends to be one of my rules when I play almost any randomizer. Do your free checks first. Either they're going to give you, in this case, characters or espers, which is the progression that you need, or it's going to give you an item that might allow you to make the progression later.
Yep, that was a cat.
It is nice to know that I'm not the only one who has a cat on my desk helping me, in quotation marks.
Go ahead, Itch.
I was going to say, the best part is the cat just stared at me like, I dare you to do something about this.
So one thing that we were a little bit neglected mentioning is we do have 4 runners. Rav, why don't you go through them and tell us about each one of these guys?
All right. So up in our upper left-hand corner, we have Mr. Entity. So one thing to note, all 4 of these racers are fairly well-known in our community. They've been in very many community races and other events. So shout-outs to all of them. We have Mr. Entity up in the top left. Let's see. Mr. Entity is known for occasionally doing some strats that are a little bit outside of the mainstream. He sort of pioneered the take off the Moogle charm and just fight battles as you get them as a form of grinding. Below Mr. Entity on your screen is Drulith. Drew is, I think some people would argue, one of the top runners in our community. Does a lot of interesting strats and has made one of the main trackers that folks use to help them track through the seeds as they're playing. As we continue along the bottom of the screen, we have Jackamus Wedge, again, arguably another one of our top runners here. Very, very good at playing, very good at improvising in seeds that people haven't seen before. And does not like using fixed dice strats. Is very unhappy when he sees them, but will use them when necessary. And then we have Zelfer. I believe Zelfer is the newest of the 4 racers here, but has been definitely showing been doing some very very high level showings when he has been here in our various races. Did I miss anything important there?
No, I think you got it pretty well.
I mean, other than Boo Jack.
I try to stay a little bit more positive than that. That's just my personal opinion.
We did just see Missionary EA Merton from this level 90 magic. As you can see, the effects of Merton.
It is a very powerful spell, and looks like he is going to take a reset out of that. The level number magics do tend to be very unpleasant bosses, let's say, or unpleasant fights. They're not even bosses.
I forget, you can run from them now, though, right?
Yes, you can. There's a 80% chance to run from them now.
So yes, one of the other changes that we have made is make more things runnable, which is nice. The reward for that Ultros fight, what location was that? I missed where Jack fought Ultros there.
Welk spot, I believe.
Let's see. That should have been the Esper Palador. Didn't happen to catch any of the spells on that Esper, but it is another Esper as we go on.
Oh boy, Zelfer digs out a Valiant Knife. Can anyone use that? How about everyone? Where's that HP Esper?
I was going to say, hey Edge, why are you so excited about that Valiant Knife?
Because one, it ignores physical defense, and two, well, it doesn't necessarily ignore physical defense, but the difference between the HP, your max HP, and your current HP is added onto your damage. And when you combine that with an offering, it can get pretty brutal.
Absolutely. It is technically possible if, in the final Kefka fight, if you have a Genji Glove offering and 2 Valiant Knives equipped, if you wait until Kefka does Fallen One, you can, if you have enough levels and enough HP missing, one-shot Kefka with 8 strikes of the Valiant Knife. That is one of my favorite little tricks.
Yeah, and then knowing my luck, I'm like 2,000 HP short, and he casts Ultima.
That has happened to me.
Yeah, that's what Life 3 is for.
Kefka can still be Kefka.
Yep, that is one of my favorite aspects of this particular randomizer is that the final boss, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how many levels you have gotten, it can still just be mean enough to take you out. So as I say, Kefka gonna Kefka.
Oh, do we have someone going to the auction house? Uh-oh. Well, I hope you have better luck than I do. Nope. Here's dried meat.
Although
they do have Gao.
If he hasn't found dried meat yet, that's actually might be a really good play to buy that. Drew is going to the auction house too. What is going on?
That is incredibly expensive dried meat. Well, Drew is a big fan of the auction house in general. He thinks it's a very overpowered check, and that's because RNG just doesn't apply to him.
We do see a Esper, though, for Drew on his end, so he got it right away.
I didn't happen to see what Esper that was. It's a unicorn. Yeah, someone brings up a good point. This is actually character check progression here at the auction house too because of the dried meat. Huh.
Oh, so there's now Zelfer gets a shot at the Mario hat.
The red cap is nothing to sneeze at. It's not something I would normally really go out of my way to gather, but I'm never unhappy when I see it.
Well, it pairs very well with the Valiant Knife.
True, it gives you some sort of boost to your HP, and I forget how much.
It's 25%. Non-trivial.
Absolutely non-trivial.
So we did just see Jack taking a reset. That Leet River is not a good time. That is some level magics on the Leet.
Oof. Oof.
Alright, well, maybe Tunnel Armor's better.
I'm not sure tunnel armor could be much worse.
Well, never mind.
And that's what happens when you don't put your Moogle charm on. You get level magics inside the tunnel armor cave.
Level magics are probably the most terrifying of the basic enemies you can just encounter out in the world.
Originally in the Occultist Tower, they have now migrated outside of it.
I mean, everyone's a cultist now, right?
Oh, well, Drew digs out an ice shield in a very unlikely location, just heading to the one of the shops. And Zelfer is back to the auction house. Round 3. There's
It's Unicorn.
All right, Mr. Entity, meanwhile, is going to purchase dried meat for the bargain price of 166.
That seems like a much better deal to me. All right, and so right now our runners are all checking various spots, and that is another aspect of these flags and character gating that I particularly like. In a lot of other randomizers that I've played, you're looking for a specific item or set of items for Go mode. And in this one, you're just looking for a certain number of characters and espers. So it is entirely possible, given different seeds, to go in completely different routes, do a completely different set of checks, end up with different characters and different espers, and still end up in Kefka's Tower with roughly similar times. I like that ability to, that there isn't just one correct route in every seed.
There's a note, we did start with 3 characters in this, and 2 of them, Terra and Shadow, or in this case, Mine Falls, had 5 checks each. So it's very interesting to see where these guys have gone. So no one's gone in the same direction.
Yeah, we've had everyone generally skip the floating continent. That is a fairly time-consuming check if you can't get through it quickly, so it doesn't really surprise me. And we have the Dirt Durgan with the lead off
but
quick.
they're not skilled, so I don't think it's going to end well for Drew.
I thought at least one of our runners has some Gaia gear somewhere.
I thought Drew had it, but it might have been optimal out, so it's a rough break.
Yeah, but it looked like Drew was going to attempt to use the Ragnarok Esper on the dragons. That is a certain percentage play to turn them into an item and just win the battle, and he would have gained quite a bit of experience and magic points from that fight if he was able to pull that off. So I like the chutzpah.
And instead, here's another rock.
Hey, those glowing stones are important.
Well, Jack gets Zone Seek, and speed is not terrible. Definitely not one of the main stats that you're looking for, but it is still useful.
Yeah, I never say no, especially if I can put it on one of the slower characters such as Cyan or Strago, just to give them a little bit of pep in their step.
Yeah, even if you can't use it to beef up a character's weakness, it's still useful to have one person always active for raid training.
Absolutely, and though that Esper has Cure 3, definitely useful. Definitely a spell I'm always happy to see. There have been many times I have gone into Final Kefka and had very little healing and been very sad about it.
Yeah, I feel like very often you're relying on natural magic to provide your cure spells, and that's shuffled today as well, isn't it?
That is. So 2 of the characters will have natural magic. They will have the spells of Celis and Terra. And those characters will also have other commands as well. So it's not like their natural magic will take precedence over, say, having slot or health.
We see Mr. Andy dealing with cranes in the Funbaba spot.
Certainly a little tense here. when you're at such low HP values, even a low-powered spell can do quite a bit of damage to you.
I would be very concerned if one of them decides to shake the deck.
Yep.
Because Magnitude 8 is... that's really annoying.
I think Drew just picked up a couple of Gaia Gears. I wonder if he's going to go back and try to take out that Dirt Dragon.
Oh boy, well, we're down an edge.
But some Chocobos to the rescue. Is that going to be enough? Not quite yet. Looks like Zelfer is trying to find his Gao. An interesting thing to note, they did get the Ragnarok Esper early. They could have just used the Ragnarok Esper on a Lobo to get their dried meat. And that gave, I believe, the Siren Esper. Did I read that right?
The dried meat check?
Yes.
I am double checking my note.
I believe so. It's just a little hard to keep track of what's going to be a character and what's going to be an Esper when the sprites aren't what I'm used to looking for.
Yes, that was the Siren Esper.
And it appears to have... Zelfer, you're clicking through menus too fast. Come on, man. X-Zone. X-Zone has some edge use cases. Nothing else on that Esper seemed particularly exciting.
I mean, I think we have Zinger disabled, so not too useful.
Rav, I'm going to remind you that it is 9:30. I don't want to be late for work, but
I appreciate it. On that note, I am going to bow out here. Hopefully I'll be able to join in the chat a little bit, while I have some downtime at work tonight. Good luck to all of our runners, and good luck to you guys as well, and I look forward to catching the VOD later.
before you go, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for the community. As we've talked about before, you are one of the hearts of this community, and we all appreciate you. So thank you very much.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, and I certainly have a lot of fun here. So, glad to be here and glad to help.
Well, that was Raveling by everyone, and as we see the Umaro sprite, and that is Raphaelos tonight. One of our longtime community helpers, does a lot of work for the community.
Alright, so this is kind of an interesting fight for Drew, running into a pair of behemoths when they can't cast media. And with all of the early armor that's been found, the physicals aren't doing very much either. So I'll look at that pause buffer.
Yeah, these behemoths should still be at his average level, but without a high enough level to cast media, they're kind of a pushover.
Yeah, it's just, the experience is going to be low just because of the scaling, but the magic points, you are hard-pressed to find an early, 30 magic points. So that's pretty sound.
We see Zephyr jumping into the Serpent Trench. We'll see what kind of force enemies he has here.
I mean, we've seen all of the nasty stuff already, so hopefully it hasn't rolled here, too.
Rios. I don't recall where that is in the vanilla game, but Chimaras are never fun to fight.
Just gotta kill him quick.
Looks like Jacquemus is taking his newly found Amaru and climbing up the caves of Narsh.
Yeah, having done the whelp check, he knows that there's a character in that slot, so it'll definitely open up some more stuff to do.
There is a dragon up here also, but he may not be primed for that quite yet.
Well,
I mean, that's the good thing about the save point there. You give it a try, and if it doesn't work, well, we learned something.
And like Raveling said, you could always try to use the Riding Esper on it.
Yeah, that's kind of playing to your outs, but Jack is Jack's kind of a person that doesn't like the low percentage plays. He's not really a big gambler. The things that he tries that appear on the surface to be crazy, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely. Jack is someone who has a very good mind for this game. He knows kind of what he has to do and when he has to do it. He did see Flame Eater up at the Amaro drop-down spot where Tritok is. And given what he has for weapons, this might be an interesting fight if he can't get enough non-flame damage.
Oh, he can always crack the shield, too. Wait, no, that does 0. Never mind. He's... Does he still have the Ice Rod? Or did he even find that? Because I know someone found one.
Drew found an Ice Shield. I don't know if anyone found an Ice Rod.
The Ice Shield, I don't think Jack is going to find. The Ice Rod, I thought, was in South Figaro. I might be mistaken, though. Cool. So now the way he's rearranged things, he's not going to be accidentally healing the boss, so this should go much quicker.
You see Drew also dealing with the behemoths, not having as much luck as Andy did a few minutes ago.
So I think this one includes, yeah, so he got his level bump already, so this is going to be a little rougher. They probably have the magic for at least one media.
So usually our weekly is on Saturday for those just coming in. This is a special weekly to celebrate the launch of our newest update to this randomizer that Atma has put a ton of work into. And we all thank Atma for everything he's done. He's been awesome with this randomizer.
Yeah, a lot of the folks involved in development, both as programmers and as giving suggestions, work very, very hard at this. So, a lot of credit to everybody that chips in. This is a pretty solid community, I have to say.
We see Imperatives Games, another one of our admins in the chat. And we have a Flying Kefka.
Well, I learned something today, and that's health bounces off of Reflect.
You would think it wouldn't, but yeah, I guess it's treated as a magic spell.
Oh, we got 7s. No, almost.
And at the end of the server trench, we saw our first of our character racers with the Neptunia sprite. That was the Trulith character.
Ooh, so up on the ice pack, it's a gold Durgan.
Probably the easiest of the 7.
Yeah, the single target bolts aren't really scary, but can also be one of the more annoying of the 7 because he really likes casting Reflect. But everybody here is geared up for a physical fight, so I think Jack's gonna be fine. This is just gonna be a little bit of a slog. Drew almost had it again.
So we have number 128 at the end of Kafka at Narsh, which Annie should be able to take care of pretty handily. And we have the Celeste Sprite for Zelfer at Doma.
Oh, there's Shock. Yeah, there's Shock on someone with a naturally pretty solid magic stat, so I think you gotta make room for him.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what Zelfer's doing. Is like, who can I cut at this point that can move Shock in? And that's a pretty pushover fight here with just Ifrit and Shiva.
Dragon's being pretty annoying for Jack, just uncorked a bolt 3. And Drew has just been trying to work the slots here so much that whatever character that is has healed themselves from about 90 HP just with Lagomorph.
Yeah, slots are kind of a double-edged sword. Really helpful, but at the same time, if you kind of a time investment if you can't hit it.
So if he does figure this out, though, that's going to make almost all the other bosses that much quicker. But he basically is committed to figuring it out at this point.
Looks like he's having a lot of trouble with that second wheel. Hawksnerf brings up a good point in chat. If you come to our Discord, Hawks is one of the people who have helped out tremendously with the sprite sets that you've been seeing here. There's a suggestion box in the Discord, so please feel free to come suggest new sprites. Hawks has been a godsend with trying to get those into the game, so we definitely thank him as well. Zelfer getting his Kina and heading off elsewhere. We'll see if he actually uses Kina or not. It didn't look like he put him in his party.
Yeah, I was wondering if you just wanted to keep the party the same. There's a 3-4 shield. I'm not going to say no to that. If you wanted to keep the party the same for the boss fight, I would understand that. But yeah, that would be, especially only at like level 11 or so, I would be hard pressed to turn that down. Alright, so the Welk spot is clear for, or no, not the Welk spot. Mr. Entity is just doing Mr. Entity things. We're gonna fight everything. Gold Dragon is also doing a very good job of healing itself. Jack has been in this fight for a long time.
Yeah, but at what point are you just pot committed to finish it off? I think at this point, you definitely want to try to do it since you're here.
Yeah, I mean, he can do this. It's no question. It's just how long is this going to take? And the answer is an awful long time.
Yeah, I mean, we see these scaled enemies. Dragons, however, are not scaled, so they have their natural power from the vanilla game.
And do we have a freeze on Drew's side? Or just a little bit of lag, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it just kind of slowed down. I don't know if Kef can actually do freeze.
Oh, there we go. Jack gets it right before it starts storing energy for the second time in the fight. So yeah, that's a very long dragon fight. I hope there's a good reward for this. A flame shield. Yeah.
I mean, that brings into play more Merton strats if we ever find Merton. They get a lot of levels though.
Also learned a lot of magic, but on the flip side, a lot of stuff is stronger now. Let's see what Jack's up to here. Just gonna grab this wall ring. So he's gonna go for all the chests, it looks like. Tsarinagon is not a bad pickup. It's not the best endgame armor, but it can do in a pinch, and if you find something better, it sells for a lot.
If we look over at Druid's side, we have found a flying snail.
Oh yeah, Drew made it through the Kefka fight. Heck yeah. Does not appear that Drew has figured out slots. It also appears that fire is very necessary, but hey, we've got a fire shield now. We're in pretty good shape.
Jack doing his best to take out Tritalk.
Yeah, he's just gonna explode this, isn't it? Yeah, Jack has no time to waste. Here, have a shield. Well, it ate 10k damage, so absolutely not a waste if you can use the full damage from that thing. Hey, it's me, I'm Gogo.
Yes, you are. And that is the shower sprite from Chrono Trigger.
I think it's appropriate because I'm the only person that actually enjoys checking that location.
And that's exactly why I gave it to you. It was that or Straga.
That's low-hanging fruit, though. That's too easy. Alright, so Drew has finally punched his way to the end of the first phase of the floating continent, and is rewarded with Odin. Hey, there's Merton! Alright.
And I know Drew absolutely loves Merton, so that'll most likely be used.
I mean, if we're not doing Merton strats now, I think after he finds a couple more elemental shields from dragons, that's probably going to be on the table.
Now, I'm a little curious with Edge having Go-Go, with Jack having Go-Go. What exactly can you equip Go-Go with these flags? Is it the base set or the new set?
I don't actually know. I wonder if there's an ability that Jack wants but doesn't want to spend time leveling somebody up to get it. Like anybody that comes into the party now, or was in the party, you can use their abilities. So I mean, Gogo with Shock, probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, we do have newly recruited characters coming in at party average level, so you'll still have a new character come in that can instantly help out instead of trying to train them up.
This is kind of a brutal fight to run into. Atma has some very, very annoying finishers when you get him low on health, so...
Yeah, I just found out last week for the first time in my life, even after many years of playing this as a kid, that Atma can actually use Ultima.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some ugly stuff in there. Normally you see Flare Star or Quake, which is bad enough.
Did you see Julius fighting the fake Magi Master?
Oh, gets the wall change off before the magic gets cast, so that Bolt 2 is not useful for the Ice 2. You gotta be kidding me. That was the one that was the one element he was weak to.
Well, he does it again with the slots, so it's only fitting, I suppose.
Unreal.
Zelfer getting through the Atma.
Alright, so we have Stray on the table, and Stray teaches Doom.
Atma is now charging his Ultima. Now, I want to direct your attention to Drulith and that lovely Kafka sprite. The Overlord Interceptor. Jack finishing off Atma before the Ultima's cast, which is nice. Make sure you find any progress in the IPOs.
Oh boy, that is not a fight that you like to see. Double ninjas. But, Drew's gonna get through this pretty quick. It's just if you lose the turn order battle on that one, it is very unpleasant.
Yeah, those ninjas can do a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, the, whatever they throw, I mean, even Wall Ring doesn't help you with that, so... There's just Slam Dancer, speaking of throwing things. Yeah, this last run is always terrifying, because you could end up just plowing into a nasty group of enemies, and there's just nothing you can do about it. And, hey, there's an ammo weapon. Alright.
That's the easier, not as threatening version of Atma.
Atma Jr.
And we have some Stooges for Zelfer.
Yeah, and, you know, heads up play by Zelfer, you know, gearing up that Bahamut. It's gonna do some work. Ooh, is slow gonna hit? Nope.
Jack closing in on his Stooge fight as well momentarily.
Yeah, Yeah, Jack sneakily making a lot of progress here. The only one with a dragon on the board, and 7 and 7. He's about to get 2 more drops off of this, so he's in pretty good shape right now.
I'm a little sad that I don't think anyone's going to go check a specific spot. So I wanted the entity character to be recruited because I was very amused at what I picked for it, but we'll see if he actually goes there or not.
Self getting Curly and Larry down pretty quick, so with only one of them left, this is a pretty quick fight.
As you say that, he goes down.
Access to Life 2 and Life 3, so sets up real well for the endgame.
So that was a triple Esper Doma Dream. That's nice as far as your Esper count goes.
You know, something that just occurred to me too. There's an ice shield on the table there too. Boy, the seed just screams Merton strats. But having Gogo in the party means you have 2 sword tech users. So that ought to be fun for piling up a lot of physical damage. I don't recall if we've seen like Atlas armlets or hyper wrists for sale, but they tend to be pretty plentiful.
Now, have you personally tried many of these alpha seeds yet?
So I tried one shuffle, and it was awful. It was awful just because of the way the seed rolled, not necessarily because of shuffling. I know you can pull a lot of very powerful stuff. There are some ridiculous combinations that you can get. I did not get any of those, but it definitely makes you think on your feet. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I mean, I'm sure I'll get used to it and start enjoying it. I have not messed around with any of the sprite shuffles, though, because I get confused very easily.
Yeah, we did leave on the natural name as well as the shifted name, so that's kind of a one thing that we did keep. You can actually turn that off so you don't have any kind of help. That gets a little confusing.
Parafossil fangs for Mr. E, so I don't know, you got life? Bolt's fine.
Well, that's actually one of the newer features of the alpha also that we have into effect. Undead will no longer die to life.
Oh, I did not know that applied to all undead.
Yeah, so some of the bosses that were cheesable before are no longer cheesable.
Oh, we're actually going to see Grand Train for once.
If we see Haidon, yeah. Haidon is actually a huge pain in the butt to fight normally.
Yeah, if you don't have something that can AoE down the little guys easily, it gets pretty annoying. They just love inflicting status.
I was looking at our little cheat sheet that we have. If we want to get to level 80, both our natural magic users can actually cast Merton. I don't know if I want to get that high, though.
The seed is just like, please, cast Merton. Drew doing the tunnel armor check. Jack is fighting dragon number 2 here. And on stage we have an ice dragon, so we've got lots of fire too kicking around, so we should be fine.
Yeah, one of the easier dragons.
Oh, you know what? Gogo can mimic the X magic too, so that's some value right there. I don't necessarily even mean mimic, just straight up use it.
Yeah, I think these shifted abilities have made Gogo very powerful.
Yeah, that's kind of a sneaky buff to Gogo. I didn't even think about that.
So up until today, these flags were in alpha stage. Later tonight, Atmatech, our developer, will be pushing this update live for everyone. So we will be officially into non-alpha just straight release after tonight.
Oh no, here's the avalanche. That didn't do anything.
Makara Third asks, what is the completion progress on Worlds Collide? For this particular set, you have to recruit 9 characters. You have to kill 4 dragons. You have to get 12 espers, which is why you see the 12-9 underneath the tracker. So right now, if you look at Drelith, he has 7 out of 12 and 6 out of 9. And then you have to get a...
Oh boy, that was an offering that I saw, so Zelfer's going to be real happy to find that.
Yeah, especially with that Valiant Knife, if he still has it. And we have... Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, Goddess. But yeah, speaking of Valiant Knife, Jack's in the right place to find it if he decides to open some more chests.
Mercura Third, if you've seen Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, it's very, very similar. You basically start with the airship, you can jump between 2 worlds. Checks are gated behind specific characters. So if you like Final Fantasy IV FE, join the Discord and check this one out.
He was thinking about selling that offering, but bounces. Well, we'll see if any more item checks come up. Meanwhile, Drew is about to tunnel his way through Science Stream. Zelfer making pretty good progress, and Jack is out. He's gonna miss the Valiant Knife.
So, of the 3 statues, do you agree that Gauss is ignoring him, but not necessarily the most difficult?
All of them can easily claim that title. It just depends on what resources you have. Goddess is easily the most difficult if all you have are Thunder Rods.
Yeah, she does not care about those.
You're not gonna take Pearl Lance away, are you? Nope, Jack's just leaving. Fend for yourself, kids. I didn't even know that kid told you what was going to be down there. That's some good info.
Yeah, definitely a nice little feature. That was actually pre-alpha as well.
Alright, so Jack's gonna go dig out the, it's probably time for Gao checks, I would say. Zelfer pulls Tritok, and that's, I don't think we've seen what that one has yet. Can't dot. Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
Jack just now doing the dried meat check in his Siren Esper, and he'll probably jump into Saber Trench as well.
Yeah, so he's caught up progression-wise to Zelfer, but has 2 dragons notched under his belt, so making some pretty good progress. If Zelfer can leverage that Valiant Knife and finds the offering, though, that's gonna be a big help in churning through some of the Kefka's Tower bosses. Alright, well there's Magicite number 10. And, yeah, I bet you wish you got that earlier. Oh well. Oh, there's a Piranha check. Alright, is this gonna be a 10-second one today? We'll find out.
Yeah, Piranha is kind of like a time fight, so it kind of be 20 seconds, or it can be up to, I think, 70, 80.
Alright, so Drew found Realm with tools, so that's basically Luca, right?
Realm with tools is, yeah, that'd be Edgar, but doesn't really do a ton for you.
Well, there is an air anchor on the table, so you can at least use that in phase 1. I guess the other thing with finding characters that match up to your current average level is you can't do the silly gimmick trick of having like a level 3 character at the start of the phase 1 fight, just using their instant death ability and then killing them off.
Yeah, you also can't take a magic +2 Esper and drop it on a fresh character and jack them that way.
But my 120 magic power character. Yeah, on the flip side though, it does make eggs ridiculous. So if you're scaling with progression, oh boy, look out. So Jack's pretty well geared up for this this behemoth fight, and is just plowing through. He's gonna plow through Floating Continent.
See where Maternity heads off to next.
I'm surprised that Drew still had 5 characters for all the ground that was covered.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of Espers, not much in the character progression.
Yeah, and is going to continue getting Espers to the point where I think at the end of this, yeah, he's going to need 1 more Esper, but like 4 more characters. The dragons are not correct on the tracker, they only need 4.
I was debating giving them all 8, but that makes seeds pretty long.
Yeah, you also have to find Edgar too, which is kind of rough, and Cyan. And Locke too, yeah. So it makes 3 characters mandatory.
And we see our first Doom sighting of the seed. Doom, one of those characters, never fun to fight.
No, especially when he manages to freeze all of your party. That's always fun. Speaking of which, there's the lead off Northern Cross. Oh, who gets it? Oh. Looks like two. I can't even tell that Ultra Sprite looks like it's frozen all the time.
Yeah, some of the palettes are a little off, but that one was kind of tough to color. Now we have Jack on his approach to the floating continent. Got to get 3 espers here, which will put him over the requirement amount of 12.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't do slot 3 because that could potentially be a character. So. Duma's been snacking pretty hard here. I think Zelfer, a fair amount of time to get through. And Jack is, why would I ever save? I'll never die. Well, there's Atlas Harmless and Nike, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, Nike is a town that a lot of people overlook, just kind of how out of the way it is. There's really not much around it.
Yeah, that's a town that I usually check, but I usually open way more chests than any of these runners do. I just like opening chests.
Now, does the flag setup change your mindset at all, or do you typically go through it the same way?
So one of the things that I try to do is build up enough money to take a shot at the Zen Esper early. And because that's really the only free check that you have on the table at the start. I mean, sure, your characters can give you free checks, but a lot of times you just are hard-pressed to find an early Esper. And if that Esper is anything good, you can get some real early power creep that's to your advantage. Like Zelfer with that magic power +1 Esper. He's been adding magic power +1 this entire seed. So we'll probably have an extra 40 magic power on the Terror character, which is going to make a huge difference at the end of the game.
And I think that's even without, like, super optimal equipment. Hey, Zelfer finds another character as well, so... given how many Espers have been kind of kicking around this entire seed, that's probably an advantageous position.
That was the Iridia sprite for Zelfer, so that's going to be a Esper.
Oh, okay.
Esper/item.
So this check with, okay, Illumina in the box, I'm not going to really argue with that. Everything is coming together pretty nicely here. But, yeah, like I was saying, as Jack finds more and more equipment that is, not game breaking, but pretty solid. The stat bonuses there are also going to help magic output and damage. That's going to help Zelfer as well, so that's something to note. Equipment advantage is pretty important in this game. Well, wherever Strago is, you just learned Pep Up.
Yeah, that's one of the other new features of this rendo. That's going to be released now with the alpha. It's called Everyone Learns, so now your ridges and your lures can be learned by anyone. So as long as you get hit by it, Strago or anyone who can use lore or ridge will be able to use that ability.
So Drew gets Crusader out of the Velt Cave, and that is not particularly useful. And so now Drew is on the look for just characters. And Jack is also on the look for just characters. Zelfer, meanwhile, is in kind of a nice spot, needing just, still needing both, but very far ahead in progress. So who's on the throne? Hey, it's another character.
Zelfer found himself. And he has rage. That was the Setzer space set, so that opens up Culligan and Daryl's tomb. And he tried to use an X Zone, did not get much for it. I think he is in Alex's Mansion at the moment.
Yeah, these guys are HP sponges, so if you could instant kill one of them, that would be pretty nice. Alright, first dragon for Zelfer, and it's a pretty good one to pick, so finding the offering before, while you can still use it to fight some bosses is going to be pretty nice.
Looks like Jack is heading back up Nourish. Might be doing the Kefka side of it
now. Okay, so this isn't a bad check because if this is not a character, Jack can just leave.
See what kind of party Jack is be heading to with for Final Kefka. We'll see what Mr. Andy finds at the end of Alex's Mansion.
Finds a hero ring halfway through, which is not terrible. One of the best accessories that you can find if you're reliant on Ragnaroks and Illuminus for damage.
Drillip has his Espers, still kind of stuck on character. He only has 5 still.
Yeah, that's kind of a rough spot to be in. There's a lot of dead checks on the table now. And apparently got a couple of his characters to run from this fight. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, I didn't think you could run from bosses, but I guess you can.
I imagine the transition between the two bosses is bugged, and Drew is just doing bug showcase.
We'll have to add that one to the list of things that Emma can fix.
List of things that are not allowed in the next battle royale.
Speaking of that, we may have a new event coming up in the next couple weeks. Stay tuned to the Discord for that. It's going to be similar to the Battle Royale, but a few tweaks on it. Going to do the full launch of this and see how any last-minute bugs works, and then we're going to jump into the next event.
All right, so we have. Looks like we have Umaro at the indoor bowling alley.
And we have Zopher going off against the Dirt Dragon that we saw earlier.
Yeah, but 3 people that are floating means this is not going to be too difficult. And, you know, offering Valiant Knife, also pretty good. I don't care how many G's you throw at me. That's a wasted turn, so... So Jack, meanwhile, at 14 Espers. And that's a behemoth suit. Not a bad piece of gear, either.
Okay, so we have Jack doing the check I was hoping someone would do, because he's for the end of this is going to be funny.
Yeah, so kind of heads up play to reduce to 1 character and just go through this, because you're not going to take any fights.
Yeah, you know, Jack doesn't really care about the chest, so I think he'll just jump over everything.
Honestly, that's what I usually do with this check. And, you know, if you get shoved off, you get shoved off. Consolation prizes, you open those 2 chests and move on. But, yeah, the Demi train is just rolling here.
Zopher playing Chase the Dragon that did not want to be caught.
I mean, that dragon knows what's going to happen to it. I'd run too.
Yeah, I think Zopher's going to wreck this pretty hard. Jack at level 48.
So yeah, all that stuff that scales with levels, pretty nice, like Sword Tech.
I like Jack taking that safety save here, because even with the best runners, this particular cave is annoying.
Oh yeah, no, you can die to that glitch all the time, even though you're in the safe spot, you still get crushed. Ta-da! It's a fish.
It is a fish.
Cold as a cod.
Yeah, just for that Jack recruits mission already. It's in their best friends.
We're going fishing. Alright, 1 more character to go, and naturally, we'll see if Jack survives the RNG fest that is Evan's Rock.
I'm a little surprised he's doing the checks. He absolutely hates it.
He probably hates everything else more, so we'll see.
Zelfer found one of our other admins, Imperatus Games. He was the Robobot from Chrono Trigger as well. I did not catch where he caught that, though.
Yeah, so it looks like Zelfer decides 3 dragons is enough and is just gonna take the 4th out with one of the groups in Kefka's Tower, so wouldn't be surprised if the Valiant Knife guy is just gonna Ginsu that dragon up. So yeah, at about 1:20:15, Zelfer's gonna be the first person in the Kefka's Tower. So, and is in pretty darn good shape, I have to say. I mean, the experience levels look pretty darn good.
Oh, so the Robo Sprite was in Celestia's Cell in South River. So there's been talk of Zelfer and how he's new to the randomizer. But he's definitely going to be one of the names to watch going forward. He is just so smooth at this game. Looks like Jack got through Abbott's Rock pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to see that he found the treasure chest, his way back to the treasure chest pretty quick. But we don't even know if this is a character or not, so... I don't know if we saw Jack do a check of Fanatic's Tower first, but he's gonna have to contend with a fire chicken.
Poltergeist, never a fun fight.
I mean, it's fun if he decides to cast Stop first on someone with a wall ring. Other than that, it's a pretty awful fight.
He does know the spell Stop, so he can cast himself if he chooses to.
Hey, maybe the stunner will hit. Oh, there we go. Stop's fun.
To answer your question in chat, the win condition is to recruit a specific number of characters and Espers, and then kill Kefka at the end. In this particular flag set, we need 12 Espers and 9 characters. And possibly kill some dragons, which we needed 4.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was to say, average seed time varies, usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, usually the only time this gets any long is if you end up with some sort of bottleneck that you have to do some unusual things to get past. I ended up having a seed the other day where you were bottlenecked by Poltergeist. He was at Kefka at Narsh, and you were able to do, I think, about 9 checks that all led to just, like, Espers or nothing.
That's painful.
Yeah, so you do all of the work of leveling him up, and then you have to solo him. So it means he has just a ton of HP and a ton of attack power. It felt real bad.
The game can be cruel sometimes.
And meanwhile, Zelfer just cuts right through the air farce.
We did throw a couple links in chat. Please give all our runners Zelfer84, Truelith, Fish and Jack and Sweat to follow, as well as our tracker behind the scenes, Boo the Runner, and our restreamer today was Classy Badger. Joining in commentary was Ravelin Bay and, of course, Edstream. Please give them both a follow. And and Zephyr taking out his last dragon, the white dragon.
Gosh, this is always a treat to find the guy with the lowest HP totem. Question in chat, are bosses now tracked as well? They are not. It's just, it's still just Esper's characters and possibly dragons.
We do just have a cheat sheet for ourselves of what we've seen. Jack is climbing Cultist Tower, though, so he saw something he wanted.
Might be a character. Oh, Drew gets a Pearl Lance. That feels bad.
Cultist Tower is kind of an interesting place. In vanilla, you can only use magic here, so it can be quite challenging early in the seed.
If you're heavily reliant on character abilities, this is a brutal check. But Jack is not, so this should be fine. Especially because the Yeti's just gonna punch him anyway.
Amaro doing what Amaro does best, just plowing through things.
Yeah, what's funny though is, Jack kind of got caught out a little bit with the X magic, because that's considered a special ability and just disappeared here. So that's something I didn't know either. So that's kind of good to realize.
Zelver making a quick work of this Kefka's Tower. Well, let's see what boss we have in store for us. And we have Inferno.
So kind of a lateral move for Inferno. Not even a promotion.
Fairly damaging boss, but I think Zelver should take him out pretty easily.
Yeah, Drew and Jack kind of just digging for that last character. So Zelfer, did very well to catch up to Jack and pull ahead with the clean routing, and I think being able to take out those dragons much faster too definitely helped out.
Zelver making short work of Inferno as Jack takes out Dullahan. Entity is going to the go-go check.
Alright, going fishing. And hey, there's Haydn, so speaking of which.
So now we'll see why we don't kill Haydn right away is nice, because this fight will not be as short as it typically is.
It just goes ahead and zombie the junior party member there.
Yes, Hoxnerf. You cannot cheese Haydn. And Drew is doing Daryl's Tomb. I don't think we've seen this one yet.
So what's interesting about this check is that this is another check that will tell you exactly what you get without fighting the boss. So if Drew has saved at the start of this, he can just warp out if this is not anything he wants.
And as we see, Jack must recruits our final member of our admin team, Vampstar 87 or 7.
So I guess Jack just wanted to get the whole band together, huh?
I don't think he found himself, though. I don't think he got the Kina check. And he overshot the chest and gets squished.
That's why you always save.
And that's why this cave is a pain. It can kill basically the best of the runners.
So I forget, did we find Fenrir or Gollum?
I do not believe so.
So we're going to be pretty reliant on Life 3 then. So a little bit slower of a Kefka fight if people want to take it safe.
We have Drew climbing Zozo, which we hadn't seen. Oh no, we did see Zozo. That was the Yeti. Zophyr is Uni, yes. That's from Neptune.
Getting sneezed on.
As long as we're staying social distanced.
Gonna edit the Chupon sprite so it has a mask. Having Walring on in this fight is so nice. It's so nice. There
For the dragon fight?
Yeah, just because it's a wasted move. Any of the bosses that have, like anti-reflex stuff, it's just super nice to see them not do anything for a turn.
Speaking of Walrings being helpful, we see a Magimaster, the real Magimaster this time.
Alright. Do we have non-elemental? Yeah, we have Water Slice. So it's gonna be a little bit of a slug, but I've had to deal with far worse situations to kill Magimaster.
Yeah, 20k damage a turn. He's gonna be down in probably 3. Those Fire 3s are doing some damage though. Gets it off. We'll see if this finishes him or not.
So what's extra nice about this is you pull a Megalixir at the end of this. That's super useful for saving time in the Kefka fight.
One of the best ways to mitigate Fallen 1 for sure.
It can also get you out of a jam real fast if you happen to trigger, one too many Meteos in the third phase.
Drew getting his last dragon, getting an offering. And now he will be heading towards I think he's one more dragon actually. Yep, he's going for the Storm Dragon.
So now Zelfer has to remember who is who. Alright, only bringing 5 to the party. And here we go.
So we're relatively powerful. What is, in your opinion, the best way to handle the Kefka Tower climb? The Kefka Tower fight, I should say.
So first is, can you land instant death on the long arm? Second phase is so the first phase is instant death the long arm, and then fire 3 the phase. Even fire 2 works pretty good if you have someone that's pretty jacked as far as magic goes. So yeah, we see Zelfer throwing out the cleave, and that's gonna make this fight a lot shorter. For the second phase, you want your powerful AoEs, and then if you have another person, or another good way to use instant death, you can use that on the centerpiece of phase 2. I always forget what the name is. But we'll see that coming up.
I love how Eddie's fish is just floating around Phoenix Cave.
I mean, even, the shadow on the ground is a nice touch. Alright, so phase 2, while Jack fights his last dragon, and Drew is about to plunge headfirst into Kefka's tower as well. Also picking the white dragon, so this should be pretty quick.
So I think there was 2 sprites that we didn't see, or maybe just 1. And that was around when he had the Mog sprite, and he was changed into a bird. But I think we saw all the other ones.
Yeah, it seems appropriate since he flew the cube, right?
Exactly.
Alright, so phase 2 is also a good time. If you have mute the magic caster, it makes life a lot easier. It's a good time to throw life 3 out as well. Although, I think Zelfer does have the Golem Esper, so that's a pretty good contingency plan.
I was just saying earlier, if you have the tools, air anchor will work as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is if I have like a low level Edgar, is to just have them air anchor the first phase and then just explode.
You've done your part. Goodbye.
Yeah. Well, you can do the same thing with Cyan and Cleave as well. It's just a matter of just get the instant death off, and that saves you a lot of time. But if you're reliant on pretty strong AoE for the second phase, like if you're doing Merton strats or Ultima strats, then the instant death isn't as valuable.
Jack is hot on Zelfer's heels. Take a kind of a catastrophe at the moment for Zelfer to lose this, but Jack not too far behind him.
Yeah, Zelfer would definitely have to take a wipe here, I think, for Jack to catch up. But we've seen stranger things happen in the Kefka fight. But Zelfer has so much good gear that I think it's kind of difficult to do that.
And look at his Atma's HP, 6,100.
Yeah, I've been blown up by Havoc Wing with that much HP though.
I think Ultima can still cut through that also. Kefka's Ultima anyway.
I think you would have to be the only person left for that to happen. It's just if you have more than one person, the multi-damage split should cover it.
Yes, it does look like Zelfer did get Golem. Just carving through a sleeping hit here. Or sleeping girl, I think they call him.
Is it Lady in Rest? They have a million different names. Who knows?
Yeah, those two. And here comes Calmness, and looks like a full block.
Yeah, we got the double Calmness, but just holding the shield up. Nah, not today.
Oh, looks like Jack took a wipe on something.
Yeah, so Jack is known to not save, so he flew way back. Way back. And now Drew and Jack are tied.
And we're going to go radio silent for a couple minutes here, just so you hear this amazing dancing mad. Such a great boss theme. So it's like Andy has his character count, just not sure on the Espers. And Kafka's charging for Gunner, but it probably won't matter. And there goes the crack boom. And Zelfer's going to take first place in this race.
Yeah, so GG to Zelfer. You know, any one of those damage combinations, the high-level sword tech, the offering Valiant Knife, you know, somebody with a lot of magic and shock could have carried this entire seed. Zelfer had all of that. So, it's no surprise that he made such short work of the Kefka's Tower fight. Yeah, I think it was about a 7-minute fight, so yeah, GG to Zelfer.
We'll see if he wants to hop in here and chat with us. And we do see the one and only Atma in chat. If you guys have enjoyed watching this, please show Atma some love. He's done such a phenomenal job at this randomizer, and this wouldn't be possible without him. So thank you, Atma. Yes, Aspertera was Adea from Final Fantasy VIII.
All right, so now it's a foot race between Drew and Jack for who can finish this tower the fastest. Jack has the advantage of knowing pretty much everything that's coming up. But there isn't anything too scary other than, say, an unfortunate Delta hit. And I think we're joined by Zelfer right now.
Yep. Hello.
GG, my friend. Well played. How'd you like the seed?
Thank you. I like the seed a lot. It was that was a lot of fun. I do feel like I got kind of lucky. Usually I don't get that lucky. I don't remember how many dead checks I have. I didn't really have that many. So I will take that while I can get it. And of course, I did appreciate all of the all of the names and the special sprites and everything like that. That was a lot of fun to see.
So how do you like the ability shuffle? What's your thoughts on that?
I like ability shuffle. I was slightly upset that possess was not in the included one, although I fully understand why we don't race with why we don't race with possess. But shuffled abilities is really interesting because usually when you just play vanilla or when you play the first version of this randomizer, the abilities kind of match up with the character nicely. Like you get Sword Tech with Cyan, and he has a lot of vigor, so it helps a lot. But yeah, this time he had X magic, but his magic power is really bad. So I really was considering just not even using him at all. Because I was like, well, X magic is a great ability, but he's not going to be able to hit anything. And then I was like, and then I rethought it, and I was like, you know what? I'll just give him the magic power Esper, and he'll probably be okay. And I'm really glad he did because he helped out a lot. But yeah, other than that, the shuffled abilities, it definitely keeps you on your toes. Absolutely, it just keeps you on your toes, and it's just like, okay, yeah, you have to check every character now. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, hey, I know you, and I know I don't like you, so nope. Now you got to sit here and be like, all right, let's see what you have before I give you the boot and relegate you to airship duties. And of course, it's always nice to have things like shock and X magic and jump just appear as an ability when normally you'd have to fight a little bit to get those. So that was a lot of fun actually. I like them a lot.
One thing we did toy with in this was change from the progression times 2 for the scaling. We went for the party highest level. What's your thought on the scaling? How'd you enjoy that one?
It worked out really good in this scene. Usually, well, I like to do. I'm sure everybody likes to do free checks in the beginning, but usually after I do like 2 or 3, I start getting nervous because I know the enemies are getting stronger every time I do that. So I like to try to balance it normally, but this time, well, actually, you guys saw, I just went to town on every single free check I could. I felt like I was trying to do like a pacifist run for like the first 30 minutes or so. So, but yeah, it's interesting because we don't do it that often, the party highest level. I would like to say that maybe it made me think twice about putting on the experience egg, but I really didn't. I like experience eggs a lot, and I think I felt the challenge in a couple areas from doing that, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it anyway. But yeah, it's different, it's interesting. I kind of liked it.
It looks like Jack took another harder wipe to the final Kefka fight, so he is no longer with us. So GG for Jack, good attempt. Magimaster and Amaru do not pair well together.
Oh no, that doesn't pair well at all, actually.
It's okay if you have a lot of time. Not for a speedrun, though.
Let's see if Jack wants to hop in with us.
Alrighty. Well, while that happens, let me bow out and catch the rest of the race, unless there's any more questions anybody had.
Alright, man. GG, well played. Thank you for racing with us tonight, and hope you had fun.
I had
GG.
a lot of fun. Thank you. And thank you. Take care, guys.
And we do have Jacqueline with us in chat. GG, my friend, well played. Final Kefka fight's not your play tonight, but still a fun seat, I hope.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I just really didn't feel like fighting the Air Force and the White Dragon again to take another crack at those bosses. It's just a matter of the way I split my party up. It just basically went the worst it possibly could have for me, with Inferno against a solo character and Magimaster against, well, that party.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have tweaked a few things and gone back, but I was just like, someone already won, so I kind of want to see what everyone else is doing.
How'd you like the seat as a whole?
I thought it was pretty cool that you had like all sorts of different community humans in there as characters and whatnot.
Any thoughts on the ability shift and how that played out?
Atma was a really powerful character because of having like Terra's innate stats and equipments with sword tech, so that was pretty powerful. Some of the characters were maybe a little redundant. Like, I forget which character had magic and X magic, but no natural magic, so I was just like, I don't really want to invest in that. But then I found the Mimic character, so it was just like, well, can give them X magic, that works.
We did have a character named Jack also. It was the Celeste character.
Oh yeah? What was the sprite?
It was Kina from Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, nice. I like food, I guess.
It was in the Dome of World of Balance.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had Shock. Look at me. Yeah, there's a few characters I didn't find. I was kind of tempted to just find 14 characters, but it took me long enough to get 9 that I'm like, I'll try to finish it now. Just to kind of see who everyone was, really.
So, any other thoughts on the sea as a whole? Anything that you would have changed? Or anything that, like, how'd you like the scaling aspect? I was trying something a little bit different than what the just standard progression times do.
I don't know what the scaling was based on, actually. It just seemed like I was fighting weaker things than I was expecting early on a lot, so I wonder if you did it by time or something?
No, it was a party highest level, so it should have been equal to what you were.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that. I might have played things a little bit differently then.
Yeah, it was party highest level +1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that probably would have affected how I did things quite a bit had I known that that's how it was scaled for enemies and the like there.
You seem to run into quite a few level magics early in the seed.
One of them was my fault because I forgot to put a Moogle Charm back on. The ones on the Elite River was just immediately like, yeah, I'm just gonna reset, not even bother with this. Then again, if I knew they were scaled based on my level, I probably could have just dispatched them a couple of times and been done with it, so who knows?
And did you like the entity fish?
I was expecting you to make him a Chancellor, but something ridiculous like that works just as well.
I was debating it, but I was trying to do something not part of the actual Final Fantasy VI sprite set.
Right on. Yeah, I didn't see who everyone was there, so kind of interesting to see a few people found different characters. I see a robot for Drulith. Imp? Did he name it that, or?
No, it's Imperatus Games.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it shortened to Imp, that's why I didn't get it, I suppose.
Yeah, it was just 6 characters, so you only do so much.
Yeah.
Drulith's character was Neptune from Neptunia.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, it might have been a close second between me and Drew if I kept going, but eh.
Then your natural magic was actually my character and Drew's character had the natural magic.
I do have a question about natural magic, though. If your character has natural magic and you get them as like a level 3 baby, are they guaranteed to have a spell so that you know that they have natural magic?
They should, yes. They should have the level 3 spell.
Okay. Alright, I'll remember that for next time, too.
So, like, Drew's character actually started with a level 9 spell, my character, which would have been Celeste, and then my character started with the level 2 spell, which would have been Terra.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll remember that for next time. Fun to try different flags out. Looks like Zelfer killed it.
Yeah, he took a pretty different route than most people. He found Doma early, so he got your sprite, and then it was just not many dead checks, which is interesting to see.
Yeah, I think I could have finished a lot earlier if I had gone to Oh, there's Zelfer, it's some kid. If I had gone to Doma World of Balance and found the character, that probably would have made a significant difference. Also, I see Drew swinging some Illuminas around, so I missed a shop that had those for sale, I'm guessing.
Ed, do you remember where you found the Illumina? I can't recall off the top of my head. It was in a chest, I want to say.
Yeah, it was. Oh gosh, let me think about it. You also missed the Valiant Knife, which was in Albrook.
Yeah, I don't usually go there, so meh.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
it's
I'm
just
not a man-eater for Raffellos early on, so he was gonna basically murderize the last bosses anyway.
yeah. It seemed like there was just a lot of good gear that was just outside the the normal line of checks that you would want to do.
Yeah, it wasn't really a bad seed. I just kind of basically set my parties up and ran into bad bosses for 2 of them and just was like, yeah, I don't feel like replaying up to that point again. Like, Kefka's Tower is just annoying. I mean, I don't mind that the boss fight's on the way, but like all the navigation is just kind of tedious if you die and have to do it again, I find.
So Andy is now at 10-9. So he has 10. He's at 10-10, I should say. So he just needs a couple more escorts. He'll be heading into Kefka's Tower, and Drillif is going into stage 2 of the final fight.
Cool. Well, you guys got anything else for me?
No, my friend, just congratulations, and we will see you again, I'm assuming, on Saturday.
Chances are reasonable, yeah.
All right, man. Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you then.
Thanks. I'm out. Let's go, Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So looking at the racers, we have Andy unfortunately finding a Force Armor, which I'm sure he didn't really care about. And hello, RPG Limit Break, that host of. We definitely appreciate that. How's everyone doing at RPG Limit Break, and what were you guys playing?
Yeah, thank you very much for the host. I'm assuming it was another Dragon Warrior Randomizer showdown, but I may be mistaken. But yeah, just I feel bad for Entity because he is exactly backwards in what he needs to be as far as the progress goes. 12 characters.
I think he's actually found. Okay, yeah, so he has 12, so he's missing 2 still. Good thing about this check for Andy is he can just get this one and take off. He doesn't need the entire factory. And we also have free Enter players with the raid. Thank you, Free Enterprise community. Welcome to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide.
Oh, the airships are all pulling in at the end here.
So we did have Zelver finish in first place with a 142. Jacquemus ran afoul of a couple bosses in the final fight, so he decided not to continue, which is definitely understandable considering how much of a time sink that final fight could be. So with this, we usually do have our weekly on Saturday, so we will have race this upcoming Saturday, so feel free to join in. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Randomania. Not quite sure what we're going to do for flags yet. Probably something similar to our standard race flags. I don't think we have a gimmick this week. Could be wrong. Probably some alpha flags thrown in, though, because we are going to a full launch after tonight, I believe, as long as Atma's all set up on his end. And we will have our new Seed of the Week also on Saturday, so that will be shifting over. All right, there you have it from Atmatech in chat. The update will be after this race. And everyone in chat, please give Atma some thanks. Such a good job on this randomizer.
Yeah, Emma puts in a lot of hard work. This ROM hack business is not easy, and neither is debugging the randomizer logic to make sure everything is consistent. So appreciate the hard work that you do, Emma.
Marth, you bring up something that we were going to discuss, but we do have the next round of the Battle Royale concept coming up, which was the event I was talking about earlier. It's going to be a little bit different this time. We'll have a formal announcement coming. This time, though, it will be based more along the lines of Mario Kart instead of eliminations. So for each race, you'll get points instead of being eliminated at the end. So it's going to be a little bit of a difference. We're going to see how this one plays against the last one, and we'll go from there. But we'll have a more formal announcement with that in the next week or two, once we get more details ironed down. But it should be a lot of fun, so stay tuned for that. And we do have Drew on his final Kefka fight, and he should go down pretty quickly. I thought Drew was about to accidentally Crusader there.
All according to plan.
So, looks like Andy is now fighting some Piranha, which is probably not something he wanted to do at this point in the seed.
No, this is just kind of insult to injury at this point. You're gonna sit here for a while, but you are probably gonna get your materia out of this, or excuse me, your magicite. My bad.
Once this race is over, I will post the spoiler log in the chat for people to see if they want to, because I know some people are interested in seeing what was actually where. I don't think we had any off-stream finishers. Let me double check. Nope, no one off-stream just yet. And Kefka is doing Gunner. That did a lot of damage on Imperator Scans.
Somebody needs the old magic defense buffed up a little bit. I mean, unless they have the Valiant Knife, then this is all his plan.
Oh, that's true too. That could have been why he went down. But I thought he saw 3k damage. It does look like Mr. Andy is joining into Kefka's tower now. And Drew has taken down the clown and takes second place overall. So GG to Drew. And Drew is going to join us momentarily here in the booth. And GG, Drew, well played.
Thank you.
How'd you like to see it?
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
No, I know you're a good proponent of wanting to use rods. How did taking that out affect you? Did it really change your gameplay at all? How did you adapt?
Well, I mean, I'm not really for rods. I just use them a lot when they're available. But yeah, I mean, I changed up my game plan quite a bit, I'd say. Well, actually, not really. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I played as if rods were kind of a factor, and it was a little bit slow because I was just checking shops constantly, and I'm like, what am I really looking for? I mean, I found some stuff. Took a lot of notes of stuff in the shops, but I didn't really. I mean, the only important thing was the Ragnaroks.
I don't think you found the character I had named after you. Did you?
No, I didn't see no character named after me. Which one was it?
You were the Rome character. Where were you? Let me check. Do you remember where Rome was off the top of your head?
Nope.
So how did you like the variation of sprites? Did it really affect you at all, or do you like that concept of having it kind of different?
I mean, I like all flag sets. I'll have fun no matter what. The changes are interesting. Figuring out, well, you have to do a little extra menuing to figure out what commands you have and which characters are which. But once you get used to it, you'll, you get the hang of it. You start to remember who's who and what's what. I was surprised that the Espers, you couldn't cast them more than once. That threw me off quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I turned that off just because you can kind of just cheese Final Kefka just by overly casting Fenrir Golem, so that's kind of why I shut that one off. Your character was actually at the end of Serpent Trench.
So I was, I was trying to get lucky with Joker Doom because I needed to take Kefka's health all the way down in one blow. If I weakened him too much and then he cast Drain, he would kill me. And the party highest, actually, that floating continent first, I was really hoping that it wasn't something that gave a bunch of XP like that. I was really hoping it was something like super easy. I really, really, really wanted to reset, but just never did. But like, I definitely should have.
We did see you playing the slots for a while. Were you trying to find out the RNG, or is that just...
No, you have a 1 in 32 chance. And I knew that if I got it early, it would be like, it'd probably still be a good, like, and worth it. Because after that fight, you get a full heal. And that's really what I needed. Because I didn't have any Phoenix Downs or anything. Or MP recovery items. Like, I just got put into a really tricky situation. Eventually, I missed the 7 and got the dragon and lined up the Sunflare. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a big enough chunk. Maybe I can burst him down before I see Drain. And it worked out. So.
Now I know you like the 3 characters aspect. The 3 characters start. That change your routing? I mean, I know most people check Terrace first and the free ones. Mixed in with the progression. What do you think about that?
Well, with the all right, so with the progression, I definitely just wanted to get all the freebies out of the way. I feel like that was a good strategy going in, just because why not? You know, you're not progressing the scaling any, and you can just grab all kinds of early game armor so that whenever you do start doing checks, you'll be powerful, and you'll have your espers already learning magic and everything good like that. Had there been progression scaling, I probably would have dipped into checks much earlier that had boss fights. With the 3 people, you can sometimes fall into a trap where you boost the progression too much, and then everything just destroys you. So, but that wasn't a factor this time.
Entity is now climbing Kafka's tower, so he should be done in the next 15 minutes or so as well. Jack took 2 unfortunate wipes on the final 4, on the final gauntlet before Kafka, and decided not to deal with Magi Master again.
Yeah, the Magi Master, luckily I was able to get him down a nice chunk with Crusader, of all things. But then it was a little slow from there, just because I didn't really have any ignore defense damage. I had Flare on Cecil, but I didn't have him in the fight. So I had to, like I did basically the entire seed, I just sent Chocobos at him. I really should have just doubled down on that and made the person with slots. I should have gave him the plus magic and all the magic gear, and maybe that would have saved a lot of time. But I was in the minis way too much this seed. I got so confused, and I'm like, who can equip what and who's doing what? But, you know, that's just a part of it whenever you have all these customization settings. But it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's chaotic. It's like sort of chaotic, and like if you either take your time to make sure things are right or just kind of wing it. And I kind of wish I just wing it more. I mean, especially with a long seed like this, eventually you're just gonna get so overpowered. But yeah, I just didn't do that.
I had the level cap up at 80, I want to say, so enemies were going to scale with you up until the end.
Yeah, but the thing is, enemies, when they get up to high level, they're not as scary as your characters when they're at high level to them.
True.
So, I like, and especially with the weapons I had in this seed, anybody who just had a high level number was just gonna do a lot of damage and be fast. So yeah, basically the way I should have played this was, I went to Albrook, I immediately see Ragnarok's in the shop, just muscle through as many checks as fast as possible, and then buy Ragnarok's when I have the GP for it. That's pretty much all I needed to do, but I don't know, I just wanted to have fun with it.
Alright, I will be back in 1 second. My dog is giving me the eyes.
All right, so we have Mr. Entity winding his way through here now. So, Drew, I know you've set up a lot of sort of challenge flag sets. Is there anything from this alpha that you would like to see become more of a regular race staple?
Yeah, there's many things I like about the alpha. The party joining at our average, I just think that's a really good setting. And I've been doing it in the challenge races, and it's been pretty fun. You can just make a late game switch up if you want, which is nice. The random commands, very fun. Might as well keep them just for the fun aspect. The summons, I actually decided to keep those in the challenge race because I just felt like if you don't have it, the espers don't get that much use. If you do have it, I mean, well, they're just an alternative spell that sometimes they usually just cast more MP than similar spells that you have normally. But maybe you get them earlier, and you know it can get you out of a certain situation. And I mean, yeah, in Kefka's you can spam Finrir, and that helps with the other phases besides tier 3. But you know, I've always thought that tier 1's really easy anyway. Tier 2, the physical attacks aren't that bad. And tier 4, I don't know, maybe it actually is really good in tier 4. I haven't ever tried it. But I can definitely see the concern there. And yeah, I'll probably keep experimenting with that flag. What else is new? So we decided to turn Bum Rush last. We changed that back to being off because it's gated by Sabin and the character who has Blitz. So unless you start with a very specific set of things, you don't really get to abuse it, but you still get to abuse it mid-game if you happen to get those two things. So we were like, yeah, why not? So because of other flags, older flags, we've been looking at some other like older flags too. So, oh yeah, and we're moving towards no breakable rods, no super balls. We're keeping shields because they cost a lot anyway, so they're restricted that way.
Yeah, I think the shuffled character abilities are it's gonna be good for mixing up the meta a little bit. It already seems like there can be some pretty powerful coincidental combinations. Maybe we'll finally see Stunner when it's not on Cyan becoming a dominant tactic.
Yeah, I didn't really do that this time. I just used Terra's arsenal benefits instead of the sword tech. So I had her equipping large swords, which only her and Celas can in vanilla. Actually, her, Locke, Edgar, and actually there's 4 characters. But I didn't have those other characters, except I didn't really like the Locke I had, so I just made Atma the dual large sword user. And so I didn't get to use the stunner. Oh, and we're starting with 20,000 starting GP nowadays, and random shops. We're really starting to like random shops. Just like, because you have only so much money, but there's so much stuff you want to buy that when the shop's random, like you just have to decide what you want, and you leave really good stuff behind. But it lets you kind of just be more creative. Like maybe you need one little item that like rounds out one of your characters really well. Well, in Shuffled, it's like you're never going to find that. But in random shops, maybe you just check 3 or 4 and eventually you find what you're looking for. So we've been liking that setting a lot.
Yeah, it seems like it gives people a nice opportunity cost to be concerned with as well. You can dig out a lot of treasure chests, but are you willing to spend the time to get the good stuff early?
Yeah. And a lot of times I find myself buying things that I don't even use because I immediately find some other thing that's better, and then I've kind of just wasted GP at that point. Just because there's just so many good things in random shops.
There we go. Edge, we have your green train sighting.
Yeah, we saw it. All right.
Yeah, Bahamut is just a really good Esper. I mean, I used a lot even without the multi-cast this seed. But it definitely is very powerful with the flag. It's easier to get than Ultima. Well, that's technically not true. They're about as common as each other, but we play without Ultima in the challenge races now.
Yeah, we got to see some more Merton strats.
Bahamut's basically the Ultima in the challenge races now. Merton's really fun.
Yeah, I was expecting somebody to give it a shot with so many shields, but it looked like you just had better options. I mean, when the seed gives you Ragnaroks, what are you supposed to do?
Did everybody find the Ragnaroks in Albrook, or did they just get the ones on the set path?
So Zelfer found an Illumina somewhere,
Yeah, he found it in he found it in this Figaro basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that one as well. I was a little bit upset, actually. I've never been that upset to get Illumina and Ragnarok. Because, like, as soon as I finally had, like, 2 Ragnaroks, I immediately just find 2 more that I can't use. Like, an Illumina and a Ragnarok. And I'm like, well, these other racers are just going to get it and not have spend 120,000 GP on it. So, yeah, that just felt kind of like, oh, it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, okay, I'm probably behind the other racers, but oh well. I mean, I knew that ever since I committed to Floating Continent. I was like, yeah, this is a disaster. But I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna finish it and finish strong.
Looks like Magic Master is also doing a little bit of the business.
Yeah, this Magic Master was rude. I really wish I had tools to deal with it, because that drill really comes in handy. Because if you don't know, his defense is sky high, but if you ignore the defense, you can actually do good damage, like Entity's doing here with his offering. Does he have Man-Eaters?
He has Valiant Knife.
Oh, he got the V-Knife. That's thing you really want in this.
Yeah, that guy was in a barrel in Albrook.
Ah, it must have been in the other Albrook, because I went to World of Balance.
Yeah, it wasn't
there.
there.
You know, Mr. Entity, there was a time where he said, why would you ever go to Albrook? And now he's getting V-Knives in Albrook. Because he's right. Why would you ever go to Albrook? There's literally nothing there.
He's trying to throw you off.
Yeah, he's trying to make us think it's bad so that he can abuse it all to himself. That's 6 treasure chests, 4 shops. It's pretty good. And it's on the way to like Tzin, and it's on the way to Seal Gate.
Just drill Ultros in the face with a 10,000 damage fire. Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, so Jack got stuck with Armaro as the only character to fight Magimaster with into Will.
Yeah, Morrow, or I should say Raph, helped out quite a bit. Whenever I fought Magimaster, because I just kind of had him tag along. Because why not with the average levels? And he has that attack that ignores defense, so it was really helpful. Also, I really liked how every character was named after people in the community. That was pretty cool. I feel a little bad for anybody who got excluded, but I'm formally shouting out everybody else now.
Yeah, I mean, I did my best to name what I could. I did the Forerunners, I did the admin crew, and I did a couple of the community helpers who've been helping out a lot in the backside.
Gotcha.
It was like Andy is about to start his final Kefka climb. This shouldn't be too bad for him. He should handle this pretty quickly.
I'm happy that Mr. Entity decided to use my character. Also, why am I an anime girl?
It's Neptunia from Hyper Dimension Neptunia.
I don't know that.
RPG game for PlayStation. Really good series. It's funny.
I'll have to check that out.
Kefka was Interceptor.
Yeah, that was cool. Still waiting on the Kefka's theme there. The Kefka sprite on the overworld is going to be our big. It's going to be the big reveal thing, isn't it? It's like the Zeromus. It's like, ooh, I wonder what the Kefka sprite's going to be. But I mean, I guess you can find out in 2 places before you even climb the tower. Sleeping Dog.
Yeah, as you can see it at Kefrat Narsh, you can see it at Imperial Camp, you can see it at Floating Continent.
Yeah, Floating Continent. I forgot about that. Also, I found it funny that Cecil was just Cecil. That was actually really hilarious.
Yeah, I did. That was intentional. I thought that was kind of a fun little backhand, but it fit.
You know, making him my magic user wasn't too smart because it was Cyan who has such low starting magic.
Yeah, it was your character and my character actually had the natural magic in this seed.
I just didn't want to do Serpent Trench because I heard... I didn't actually check, but I thought that maybe bosses were going to be in the fixed encounters.
I was debating it, but no, I was kind this time, even though I like that flag.
Yeah, I should have just looked over the text file. So that's really on me, but yeah, that was why I wanted to avoid that.
I was debating it, but I decided not to because I know it's kind of hard to miss with some people, so I took the safer route this one.
We added that for challenge races only in the overworld encounters and not the fixed. And then it sort of gives you a way to generate XP because it's like oh, I really need to fight a boss for XP, but I can't fight any of these bosses at the check. We found that maybe if you just turn on the 20% in the wild option, you can just sort of make a boss fight, you know. And if you don't like the boss fight there, you just go somewhere else, and it's like a quick way to just get a little boost in XP. The fixed ones are just mean. And they also kind of there's some fixed encounters that can be a variety of formations. So like sometimes a player will have to fight a boss and sometimes they won't. That's the thing I dislike the most about it. But I mean, it's a fun chaos setting for sure.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we're gonna handle Sea of the Week and stuff going forward. Me and Adam have been discussing on the back end to see how we can not unify it, but keep it uniform, I guess is a better way to say it. So we'll have more community surprises coming up as well. And then we have the next incarnation of the Battle Royale coming up in the next month or so. Probably not a month, probably a couple weeks, but we'll see what happens with that. I have a couple more things to work out in the back end first. But we have an announcement on that very shortly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to grind for the BR yet or not. I haven't decided if I want to keep playing as much as I have been. I've been working on vanilla. I'm playing any percent, no sketch, but I mean, I love this randomizer. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so addicting.
This upcoming Battle Royale is going to be kind of Mario Kart based. So if you miss a week, you'll just get a 0 for that week. So it's not like make or break. It's nice not to miss a week, but life happens.
Yeah.
So it's not as strict as the last one.
Yeah, I love me some Mario Kart.
And flags are gonna be changing. They're not gonna be a static flag set through the entire thing. So that's kind of what I'm working on in the background at the moment.
Oh, can I get a recommendation in for Battle Royale?
Yeah, hit me up on Discord.
All right, I'll hit you up on Discord.
And we have Andy going to stage 3 now of Kefka.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna head out so I can commentate in the final fight here. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. And can't wait for what else is in store. And yeah, and thanks Atma and thanks to the Restream team. And I'm gonna be heading out. Peace.
All right, man. Have a great night. So we see Mashani on the Stage 3 Final Kefka. This shouldn't take him too long. Should go down pretty quick for him. Gonna take out the girl first, and then see if we can mitigate some calmness and take out the bottom one. I forgot what the natural names are. We did have a third place finisher off stream, Mr. Yerbik coming in at third with a 2:10.51. So GG to him, well played. Gonna just carve through, and here comes the calmness, and he does mitigate it with the shield. Just one hit, so all four are going alive to the next round. Jack, your character was in a easy spot. I'm surprised you didn't find yours, but you had a World of Balance Dome at Castle. And here comes Dancing Mad for one final time tonight. And let's root on Machine to get through this final Kefka fight. Should go down pretty quickly with his power level. Just gonna drop some fire 3s on him and whittle him down a little bit more. Kefka can still hurt at this stage, especially when he starts throwing out those counters. And here comes Donner, the guy. He has a character who jumps, so he's not gonna take any damage unless he lands first. But this one he can really hammer Kefka hard. Like, he will not counter during this phase. He want to kind of throw everything at him. So I'm pretty sure this fight's basically over. We see Scott's character getting one more fire 3 in. And that last fire 3 from Scott finished him off. And down goes Kefka. And Mr. E is going to take 4th overall with a 2:33.15. And we'll see if he wants to come here and give us a quick interview before we close out for the night.
Yeah, GG, Mr. E. Basically full cleared the seat. Definitely got to give him props for sticking it out, though.
And we do have Mr. Andy in chat with us. GG, my friend, well played.
Yeah, if you say so.
It was a longer seed. Any thoughts on it?
Why was I Fishmog?
Because I thought it was funny.
I'll grant you that.
I turned into your stream when I saw you going there. I was hoping you had your webcam so I could see if you laughed or not, but you didn't. I was sad.
No, I don't usually run the webcam when I'm doing these because no one should be on my stream anyway. But it was amusing. I like the fish sprite either way. So having that be me and then getting to fire 3 the hell out of Jack, excellent.
Jack was Kina from Final Fantasy VIII. I don't know if you saw him or not.
Yeah, I got him, and then while I was going through Kefka Tower, I went out of my way to kill him more than once. I threw Fire 3s at his face.
Very good, high proof.
Yeah, it seemed to be a good night for Team Boo Jack.
Yeah, apparently he forfeited, which is weird.
He ran across Magimaster with only Amaru and didn't feel like going back for a second time.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a good time. I got through it just because I had a Valiant knife. I didn't have to do anything. So I'm glad I took the time to level that one character up and then give him a red cap. I guess I had wall rings, but that would have taken forever.
And as you can probably see on Discord, if you have checked, we have officially gone to the next version. So our new showcase here tonight is now our overall version of the randomizer.
Excellent. I have been looking forward to the swapped about and randomized commands for a while now. That was I think the main thing that was missing to make this, like, as far as I'm concerned, version 1.0. I'm sure Atma would fight me with that, but that was the main thing I think was missing to make it a real randomizer of Final Fantasy VI.
So how'd you like the flags overall? Did you think it was a nice balance? How do you like the ability swaps and all that?
Oh, the ability swaps are amazing. I got my start in Final Fantasy VI randomizers with a really old Desurect randomizer, which basically all it did was randomize chests and abilities, and Jack and I would do races to Kefka and Narsh on that. So that was always my basic expectation. It's been really fun without it. Don't like, I'm not gonna. I've been playing it so much for a reason, right? Atma's very good at what he does. But that was the one thing I've been missing for a while. Outside of that, it was just a slightly long seed because of the numbers. And
yeah, that was
I
kind
got
of
a bunch of
intentional.
dead checks at the end. I wound up with 4 extra characters.
I was kind of edging on a longer end seed just because I wanted more characters being shown.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't find like lore or rage, or I guess I got dance, but that was too far in for me to bother using it. Because those are the ones that really shine with the everybody can learn stuff flag that's new.
What do you think about the scaling? I know we don't usually use party highest level, but with the join at average level, I thought that was kind of a good match.
I found an experience egg kind of early, so I don't know that I can it's super comment on this. I don't think it made that much of a difference, but I was a super high level on all of my characters at the end. Like, unnecessarily high. I'm not sure if that's because of scaling or just because of that experience egg or what, but yeah, I went out of my way to put that experience egg on the lowest level characters just so that the average level I got a new character would be usable. And yeah, I probably spent too much time moving that thing around, frankly.
All right, so before we close it out, any other thoughts on the seed?
Don't really remember. Oh, I did figure out that if you use health when you're a very high level, it kind of sucks. So that shock and health kind of tail off a bit the mid-ish game. Shock lasts a bit longer, but health is apparently not very good.
Also, something that we found out, if you have wall rings on, you can't use health because it reflects back on the enemy.
Oh, it's a reflectable. Interesting. I did figure something out. I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't find it off the top of my head. It's just on a random scrap of paper here. I'm sure I'll post it in the Discord at some point. But yeah, just thanks to you guys for doing the restreams. Thanks to everyone else for running it. As always, big thanks to Atmatech, and also, as always, Boo Jack.
All right, so with that, Edge, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that about covers it. Speaking of Boo, thanks to Boo for doing the tracking tonight.
And Classy for doing the race stream, doing the fantastic job that they do for us behind the scenes. Please give both of them a follow. Our 4 runners today, Zelfer85, Jackamus Wedge, Mr. Andy, and Drulith, as well as my co-com today, Edgeworth. It was a pleasure, my friend, as always. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime. Got to do this again.
So with that, guys, have a great night. We will see you on Saturday for another Final Fantasy VI weekly race. And then have a great night, and we will see you in a couple days.